You want to know why you're not successful yet? Because you lie to yourself more than anyone else lies to you. You say you want wealth, but you spend money on things that make you look rich instead of actually building wealth. You say you want health, but you eat like someone who doesn't care if they live or die. You say you want success, but you work with the intensity of someone who's just trying to get by. You say you want change, but you repeat the same patterns year after year and expect different results. The gap between what you say you want and what you actually do is destroying your credibility with the only person whose opinion truly matters: yourself. Until you close that gap, until your actions match your words, you'll keep living this lie. You know what the most dangerous lie you've ever been told is? It's not something your parents said. It's not something your teachers taught you. It's not even something society programmed into your mind. The most dangerous lie is the one you tell yourself every single day when you look in the mirror and say, I'll start tomorrow, right now, at this very moment. There's a version of you that exists, not in some fantasy world, not in your dreams, but in the realm of possibility. This version of you wakes up at 5 in the morning without hitting snooze. This version of you keeps every promise made to yourself. This version exercises when tired, works when unmotivated, and pushes forward when everything inside screams to quit. The gap between who you are right now and that version of yourself. That's not circumstance. That's not bad luck. That's not because someone else has more advantages than you. That gap exists because of one person and one person only: you. Here's what nobody wants to admit. We live in a world obsessed with competition. We compare ourselves to our neighbors, our colleagues, our friends on social media. We measure our success against their vacation photos, their job promotions, their perfect relationships. We lose sleep over what they have that we don't. We feel inadequate because they seem to have it all figured out. But I'm going to tell you something that will change everything if you truly understand it. They are not your competition. They never were. Your only real opponent is staring back at you every time you pass a reflective surface. Think about this for a moment. Every great achievement in human history, every fortune built, every meaningful relationship created, every healthy body sculpted, every skill mastered, all of it came down to one critical factor: the ability of one person to defeat their own limitations. Not to beat someone else, not to prove anything to the world, but to win the daily battle against the person they were yesterday. Let me share something with you. Studies show that 72% of people never achieve their major life goals. Not because they lack talent, not because they don't have opportunities, not because the world is against them. They fail because they cannot manage the one person they have complete control over: themselves. They cannot control their impulses. They cannot discipline their habits. They cannot silence the negative voice in their head telling them they're not good enough. They defeat themselves before anyone else even shows up to compete. I've spent over 40 years studying success, working with millions of people across every continent, every industry, every background you can think of. And I can tell you with absolute certainty that the difference between those who succeed and those who fail has nothing to do with external circumstances. I've seen people born into poverty create immense wealth. I've seen people with minimal education become industry leaders. I've seen people with every disadvantage you can think of rise to the top of their fields. And I've also seen people with every advantage: money, education, connections, looks, talent, end up broke, bitter, and broken. What makes the difference? The winners learned to win the battle against themselves. The losers kept fighting ghosts, blaming circumstances, and waiting for perfect conditions that never came. Here's the brutal truth that most people never accept. You are standing in your own way right now as you hear these words. You already know what you should be doing. You know you should be exercising. You know you should be saving money. You know you should be learning new skills. You know you should be working on that business idea, that book, that project that keeps calling to you. You know you should stop wasting 3 hours every night scrolling through your phone. You know you should go to bed earlier. You know you should eat better. You know you should make those important phone calls you've been avoiding. You know all of this. The knowledge isn't the problem. The problem is you versus you every single day. You make thousands of decisions. Most of them are small. What time to wake up, what to eat for breakfast, whether to exercise or skip it, whether to work on your goals or watch another episode, whether to save that money or spend it on something you don't need, whether to learn something valuable or waste time on nonsense. Each decision by itself seems insignificant, but here's what happens. These small decisions compound, they build on each other, they create momentum in one direction or another. They shape your habits shape your character shapes your destiny. When you choose to hit the snooze button instead of getting up, you're not just losing 30 minutes of sleep, you're training yourself that comfort is more important than commitment. When you choose to eat that junk food instead of a healthy meal, you're not just consuming calories, you're reinforcing the pattern that immediate gratification trumps long-term health. When you choose to watch television instead of reading a book, you're not just choosing entertainment, you're deciding that numbing yourself is more valuable than growing yourself. The person you're becoming is a direct result of the choices you make when nobody's watching. The person you're becoming is determined by what you do when you don't feel like doing it. The person you're becoming is shaped by whether you keep your promises to yourself or break them the moment they become inconvenient. Most people will spend their entire lives preparing to live. They'll say, when I have more money, when I have more time, when conditions are perfect, when I feel motivated, when I'm ready. But here's the reality. That moment never comes. Life happens now. Your transformation begins today. Your victory starts with the next decision you make. And that decision is simple. Will you continue to be your own worst enemy, or will you finally become your own greatest ally? The question you need to ask yourself is this: why do we sabotage ourselves? Why do intelligent people make stupid decisions? Why do talented individuals never use their gifts? Why do people with tremendous potential live mediocre lives? The answer lies in understanding the mechanisms of self-defeat that operate inside your mind every single day. Your brain is the most sophisticated computer ever created. It processes millions of bits of information every second. It keeps you alive without you even thinking about it. But here's the challenge. Your brain was designed for survival, not for success. It was built to keep you safe, not to make you great. And therein lies the fundamental conflict. Everything you want in life exists outside your comfort zone. Every goal worth achieving requires you to do things that feel uncomfortable, uncertain, and sometimes scary. But your brain's primary job is to keep you comfortable and safe. This is why you feel resistance every time you try to do something new. This is why you feel anxious when you step outside familiar territory. This is why you talk yourself out of taking action right before you're about to do something important. Your brain isn't trying to hurt you, it's trying to protect you. But in protecting you from discomfort, it's also preventing you from growth. Let me explain how this internal enemy operates. First, there's procrastination. This isn't laziness. This is fear disguised as delay. When you procrastinate, what you're really saying is, I'm afraid I might fail, so I'll put it off and at least I won't have to face that failure today. Procrastination gives you temporary relief from anxiety, but it creates long-term regret. Every day you delay is a day you move further away from your goals. Every postponed decision is a vote against the future you claim you want to create. Think about how this shows up in your life. You have a project due, but instead of working on it, you suddenly need to organize your desk, check your messages, grab a snack, do anything except the actual work. You want to start a business, But first you need to do more research. Take another course. Wait for the perfect moment. You want to get healthy, but you'll start on Monday or next month or after the holidays. Procrastination is your mind's way of protecting you from the possibility of failure. But by avoiding failure, you also avoid success. Then there's self-doubt. This is the voice that tells you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not talented enough, not connected enough, not experienced enough. This voice has a million reasons why you can't succeed. It remembers every mistake you've ever made. It compares you to everyone who's already successful and points out all the ways you don't measure up. It whispers that you should stay small, stay quiet, stay safe. Self-doubt is rooted in your past programming. Everything you were told as a child, every criticism you received, every time someone said you weren't capable, every failure you experienced, your subconscious mind recorded all of it. And now it plays these recordings back to you as evidence that you should not try. The ironic thing is that self-doubt often hits hardest right before a breakthrough, right before you're about to level up. That voice gets loudest. Why? Because your mind senses you're about to leave the safety of the known and enter the risk of the unknown. Next comes distraction. We live in the most distracted era in human history. Your phone buzzes with notifications. Social media feeds you endless content. Streaming services offer unlimited entertainment. News cycles demand your attention. Everyone wants a piece of your focus. And here's the trap. Distraction feels productive. Scrolling through information feels like learning. Watching motivational videos feels like taking action. Being busy feels like being productive, but feeling productive and being productive are two entirely different things. Distraction serves a psychological purpose. It numbs you. It helps you avoid the hard questions. It keeps you from facing the fact that you're not making progress on what truly matters. When you're constantly distracted, you never have to confront the gap between where you are and where you want to be. You never have to sit with the discomfort of growth. You never have to do the deep work that actually creates results. Finally, there's inconsistency. This might be the most destructive of all. You start with enthusiasm, you're motivated, you create a plan, you take action for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, you see some initial progress. But then life happens, you get busy, you get tired, you have a bad day, and you stop. You tell yourself, you'll get back to it tomorrow, but tomorrow becomes next week becomes next month. And before you know it, that goal you were so excited about is just another abandoned dream. Inconsistency kills more dreams than failure ever will. Failure teaches you. Inconsistency just wastes your time. The problem is that real results require sustained effort over time. Success isn't about occasional bursts of massive action. It's about small actions taken consistently. A single workout won't transform your body, but working out consistently for 6 months will. A single sales call won't build a business, but making calls consistently will. A single day of healthy eating won't change your health, but eating well consistently will. These four enemies, procrastination, self-doubt, distraction, and inconsistency, work together. They feed off each other. Procrastination increases self-doubt because you're not taking action. Self-doubt makes you seek distraction to avoid uncomfortable feelings. Distraction prevents you from building momentum. Lack of momentum makes it easier to be inconsistent. Inconsistency gives you reasons to procrastinate, and the cycle continues. But here's what you must understand. These patterns are not permanent. They're not your identity. They're just habits. And habits can be changed. The fact that you've been defeating yourself up until now doesn't mean you have to continue. The fact that you've given in to these internal enemies in the past doesn't determine your future. Every moment is a new opportunity to choose differently. Every day is a chance to win one small battle against yourself. And when you start winning these small battles, everything changes. Now that you understand the enemy, let's talk about how to defeat it. Winning against yourself isn't about willpower. It's not about motivation. Those things come and go like the weather. What you need is a system, a strategy, a proven method that works regardless of how you feel. And I'm going to give you that system right now. The first principle is brutal self-honesty. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. Most people live in denial. They make excuses, they blame circumstances, they tell themselves comfortable lies about why they haven't achieved their goals. But transformation begins the moment you look in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. The truth about your habits, the truth about your work ethic, the truth about how you spend your time, the truth about the choices you make when nobody's watching. Sit down right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now, and conduct a personal audit. Write down exactly how you spent the last 7 days, hour by hour. How much time did you spend on activities that move you toward your goals? How much time did you waste on things that don't matter? How many promises did you make to yourself? How many did you keep? What did you eat? When did you sleep? What did you consume mentally? Be specific, be honest. Because until you face the reality of where you are, you cannot create a plan to get where you want to go. Most people are shocked when they do this exercise. They think they're working hard, but the numbers show they're working 3 hours a day and wasting 5. They think they eat relatively well, but the truth shows they consume garbage 60% of the time. They think they're focused, but the data reveals they're distracted constantly. This audit isn't about judgment, it's about clarity, and clarity is power. Once you have clarity, you need the second principle, goal clarity and written plans. Here's a fact that will change your life. Only 3% of adults have written goals, and those 3% earn 10 times more than the other 97% combined. Writing your goals isn't just about putting words on paper, it's about programming your subconscious mind. When you write something down, you activate a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. This system then filters reality to show you opportunities related to your goals. But you cannot just write vague wishes. You must be specific. Instead of, I want to be successful, write, I will earn $100,000 by December 31st of this year. Instead of, I want to be healthy, write, I will weigh 170 pounds, exercise 5 days per week, and have 15% body fat by June 1st. Specific goals activate specific actions. Vague goals create vague results. Then break those goals down into daily targets. If you want to write a book, that's overwhelming. But if you commit to writing 500 words per day, suddenly it's manageable. 500 words a day becomes 15,000 words a month. In 6 months, you have a book. The goal hasn't changed, but your approach makes it achievable. Every major goal can be broken down into small daily actions. Do those actions, and the goal takes care of itself. The third principle is discipline, and let me be clear about what discipline really means. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect. When you discipline yourself, you're showing yourself that you matter enough to keep your commitments. You're proving to yourself that you can be trusted every time you do what you said you would do, especially when you don't feel like it. You build self-trust, and self-trust is the foundation of confidence. Start with your mornings. The way you start your day determines how the rest of your day unfolds. Winners win the morning. They get up at a specific time, not when they feel like it. They have a routine that prepares them mentally and physically for the day ahead. This might include exercise, reading, meditation, planning, or visualization. The specific activities matter less than the consistency. Your morning routine is your declaration of war against mediocrity. Here's what I do and what I recommend you do. Set your alarm for the same time every day when it goes off. Count backwards from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then move. Don't think, don't negotiate, just move. Get up immediately. This 5-second rule breaks the habit of hitting snooze. Then, spend the first hour of your day on yourself, not checking email, not scrolling through social media, not reacting to other people's priorities. Spend that first hour becoming better. Read for 30 minutes, exercise for 20 minutes, plan your day for 10 minutes. That's it. Do this every single day. And within 30 days, you'll be a different person. The fourth principle is continuous learning and growth. Your earning power is directly related to your learning power. The more you know, the more you grow. The more you grow, the more you're worth. Successful people are learners. They read books, they listen to educational audio programs, they attend seminars, they invest in courses. They understand that the best investment they can make is in themselves. Here's a practical strategy. Turn your car into a university on wheels. The average person spends 500 to 1,000 hours per year in their vehicle. If you listen to educational audio programs during that time, you can get the equivalent of a university education every 3 years just from your commuting time. While other people listen to music and complain about traffic, you can be learning skills that will make you wealthy. Read for at least 30 minutes every day. If you read just 10 pages a day, that's 3,650 pages per year. That's approximately 12 to 15 books annually. Do that for 10 years, and you'll have read 150 books. Show me someone who reads 150 books on success, business, and personal development, and I'll show you someone who has transformed their life completely. The fifth principle is mental programming through affirmations and visualization. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. What you think about most of the time determines what you become. Everything we've discussed means nothing without execution. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. You can know all the strategies in the world, but if you don't apply them daily, you'll stay exactly where you are. So let's talk about how to win the daily battle, how to execute consistently, and how to create lasting change that transforms your entire life. Your day is won or lost in the first 60 minutes after you wake up. Most people start their day in reaction mode. The alarm goes off, they hit snooze 3 times, they finally drag themselves out of bed, they check their phone immediately, they see emails and messages, and suddenly they're responding to everyone else's agenda before they've even thought about their own. This is how you lose. This is how you give away your power before the day even begins. Winners operate differently. They wake up with intention. They take control of their morning before their morning takes control of them. After you use that 5-second rule to get out of bed, drink a full glass of water. Your body has been without water for 8 hours. Hydrate immediately. Then move your body. Do 20 push-ups. Do 50 jumping jacks. Go for a quick walk. Get your blood flowing. Physical movement creates mental clarity. You'll notice that the resistance you felt about getting up disappears once you're moving. Next, feed your mind before you feed your body. Read something positive and educational for 15 to 20 minutes. This could be a chapter from a book on success, a few pages of biography about someone you admire, or personal development material that inspires you. What you put into your mind first thing in the morning sets the tone for your thoughts throughout the day. Then, review your goals. Look at what you've written down. Visualize yourself achieving those goals. See yourself as the person who has already accomplished them. Feel the emotions of success. This takes 5 minutes, but programs your subconscious mind for the entire day. Finally, plan your day on paper. Write down the 3 most important tasks you must complete today. Not 10 things, not 20 things, 3. These should be tasks that directly move you toward your major goals. Everything else is secondary. When you start your workday, tackle the most difficult and important task first. Eat that frog, as they say. Do the hard thing when your energy and willpower are highest. Most people do easy, comfortable tasks first and save the hard stuff for later. But by later, they're tired, distracted, and out of willpower. They either do a poor job or don't do it at all. Attack your biggest challenge first thing, and the rest of your day becomes easier. Throughout your day, you'll face constant temptations to break your discipline. You'll want to check social media. You'll want to take an extended lunch. You'll want to quit early. You'll want to skip the workout. You'll want to eat the junk food. These moments are tests. Every time you face a choice between comfort and commitment, you're being tested. And every test is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you're serious about change. Here's a technique that works. When you feel the urge to do something that contradicts your goals, pause for 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds, count them out. In those 10 seconds, remind yourself of who you're becoming. Remind yourself of why you started. Remind yourself that this moment of discomfort is temporary, but the regret of giving in lasts much longer, most of the time. That 10-second pause is enough to help you make the right choice. Protect your energy throughout the day. Energy management is more important than time management. You can have all the time in the world, but if you have no energy, you'll accomplish nothing. This means eating foods that fuel you, not foods that drain you. This means taking short breaks to recharge instead of pushing through exhaustion. This means saying no to time wasters and energy vampires who want to pull you into their drama. Guard your energy like it's your most valuable resource, because it is when evening comes. Don't just collapse in front of the television. Take 15 minutes to review your day. What went well? What could have been better? Did you complete your 3 most important tasks? Did you keep your commitments to yourself? Be honest in this review. If you failed in some area, don't beat yourself up. Just acknowledge it and commit to doing better tomorrow. If you succeeded, celebrate it. Recognition of progress is fuel for motivation. Then prepare for tomorrow. Lay out your clothes, pack your lunch, review your schedule, write down your 3 most important tasks for the next day. When you do this preparation the night before, you eliminate decision fatigue in the morning. You wake up knowing exactly what you need to do. This simple habit removes friction and increases the likelihood that you'll follow through. Now, let's talk about the long game. Everything I've shared with you works, but it doesn't work overnight. This is where most people fail. They expect dramatic results immediately. They want the body in 30 days. They want the business to explode in 60 days. They want complete transformation in 90 days. But real change doesn't work that way. Real change is built through consistent action over extended periods of time. Think about it this way. If you improve just 1% every day, you'll be 37 times better in 1 year. Not 37% better, 37 times better. That's the power of compound growth. But it requires patience, it requires faith, it requires you to keep showing up even when you don't see results yet. The results are coming, they're building beneath the surface. But you won't see them until you've put in enough consistent effort. I've watched this process unfold thousands of times. Someone commits to change. They start strong. After 2 weeks, they feel great. After a month, they see some small results. After 2 months, progress seems to slow. This is where most quit. They think it's not working. But actually, this is where the magic happens. This is where the compound effect kicks in. If they just keep going for another month, another 2 months, suddenly everything accelerates.